Unimaginable. It's what we thought when we watched the news footage at the Kabul airport in August of 2021. American troops were pulling out, and the Afghans who worked for the U.S. military or private American contractors wanted to leave with them. How does an individual, how does a family get from the panic and desperation of this scene to this, when they come through the Salt Lake City International Airport terminal with their luggage?
Utah is one of the most welcoming states in the United States.
Those who are now Afghan refugees are met by people who will help them. They find friendly faces.
There is a strong history in Utah of humanitarianism and people wanting to do good and help those around the world.
Offers of assistance and comfort, a haven from fear.
They worked for me and then they got a family for me.
That includes food and clothing and a place to live.
My number one hope is that they feel safe and that they feel like they have a home.
They discover there is someone at the other end. Utah's two resettlement agencies, the International Rescue Committee and Catholic Community Services, have welcomed nearly 900 refugees from Afghanistan in less than 6 months' time. Assistance has come from the state, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, private donors, and volunteers. When the Afghan refugees arrive at Salt Lake International, IRC and CCS representatives and a caseworker meet them. They go first to temporary housing and then to a more permanent home. Javid Eklis worked for an American contractor. He says he was shocked when his government fell to the Taliban so quickly. He knew he had to escape.
I can't to enter the airport because it was a huge people.
His colleagues rented a bus to get to the airport, and that's how they got through the chaos and onto a plane. They spent 2 weeks in a crowded warehouse in Qatar with 100 other families, and 2 months at a U.S. military base in Texas. Coming to Utah, Javid says, was comforting. He saw the mountains, and they reminded him of home, of Afghanistan. It was a sign that they were safe.
When we reached to the house, we are feeling rest and we are feeling good day by day.
And there is gratitude for our country.
Americans are always helping people. They are a kind, they are trying to help the peoples and help the refugees. They are nice guys.
But everyone's story is different. Syed Shah arrived without his family, father, mother, and 6 younger sisters.
So first, me and our family, we decided to leave the country because of our situation in Afghanistan. And then we came to the airport, but my family can't they didn't make it to come with me, and I lost them.
He got on the plane and they didn't, somehow separated. Suddenly, Syed was alone, on his way to Qatar and then to the U.S.
And now they don't know where they're going. They don't know what's going to happen to them.
Rene Barrera is a therapist who works with young people. These days, many of them teenagers from Afghanistan who have come here without parents or family. Syed is one of his clients.
I think Rene is the best and he's helping me too. Yeah, that's good.
At CCS, Syed is surrounded by professionals, Ale and Epiphany, helping him make the transition. And he is very grateful to his foster family, who have given him a home.
They're trying every time, and they're sometime we are going to Afghani restaurants. We have they're trying. They're good. Michael, my stepdad, he's helping me. And now I'm interested in psychology.
It's amazing to see them graduate from high school and go to college, start families. And then they realize, all this would not have been possible had I stayed in my country. And so it's a blessing. And seeing that, it gives me joy.
The Amiri family is now experiencing some of that joy.
We feel safe here, and we are happy that we are here.
We first met them in December of 2020, 9 months after they arrived. Mahmood worked for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. He and his wife, Masuva, have 4 children. He works nights at the University of Utah. She works days for a company. It has not been easy, but they have done it.
So finding a job, taking care of the children, taking them to school and pick them up off to back home, much difficulties. But my wife, I'm proud of my wife that she gave a hand with me.
He says they learned the laws here in Utah and how to live, and they teach their children.
So I advise them that we work hard for you, so you have to be in the future something. You have to make your future bright.
Their son, Mohab, is now 17. When they first arrived, school was difficult. He didn't know the language. He had no friends.
In the classes, when the teachers were like giving us homework, and I was like, what is she talking about?
Mohab says he went from F's to A's. He hopes to go to a university because from a young age, he says he believed in the American dream.
So when I was like in Afghanistan, I was like, I had hope like to be an American, you know, and like had the dream to like go like to school and then like study, like, you know, be like a doctor, you know, something.
His father, Mahmood, is now helping other Afghans resettle in Utah.
I saw, especially myself, I saw a lot of people that they are happy with that they left Afghanistan and they arrived here. So because they saved their life.
Utahns have helped refugees resettle here for decades. Meet the people leading the efforts for the Afghans next. At the end of February 2022, Governor Spencer Cox welcomed our newest arrivals to Afghan Day on Capitol Hill. He called this the largest resettlement in our state's history. I talked with the governor and First Lady Abby Cox about why Utah has accepted more Afghan refugees than states with larger populations.
We are a very patriotic people here in the state, and so I think we feel a duty to give back. And then it's just the right thing to do. They put their lives on the line to protect Americans who were serving and in harm's way over there. They are our allies.
At Christkindlmarkt in December of 2021, the First Lady included the Afghans in her Show Up initiative by asking for donations of gift cards.
A lot of times we need to give those gift cards so that they can buy what they need, not what we think they need.
And in February of 2022, she invited the spouses of legislators to join her as she took Afghan women grocery shopping.
It's not something they've experienced before, and it's overwhelming for many of them. I think it's a powerful time for us to connect with other people that have a different story, and that's what we are as Utahns. We want to do that, and we want them to feel a sense of belonging here.
The International Rescue Committee is a humanitarian aid organization. It was founded in 1933 at the request of Albert Einstein. With World War II came one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. The IRC opened in Utah in 1994 and since then has served close to 15,000 refugees. The people from Afghanistan literally ran for their lives, all arriving in about 6 months' time.
The stories that we've heard of people in a stampede, of people breaking hands before they get on the plane, of going back and forth to the airport over and over again with the hopes of getting on to a flight, are harrowing and traumatic all at the same time.
The IRC in Salt Lake is partnering with Catholic Community Services to resettle the Afghan refugees.
Refugees need somebody to give them a hand up and show them the way, how to get a job, how to live in an apartment setting, how to go to a doctor's appointment, how to use the public transport, very basic things.
Catholic Community Services of Utah started in 1945 when Bishop Dwayne Hunt of the Catholic Diocese recognized the need for an organized effort to assist those in need. In the 1970s, CCS opened its refugee resettlement and refugee foster care programs. Aden Batar has helped thousands of refugees find new homes in Utah.
The reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I myself have been a refugee and I was in the receiving end of myself. So I understand how important it is, this work that we do.
CCS and IRC, they do such tremendous work, and we're really grateful to be able to work with such trusted partners.
Jean Bingham understands as well, having traveled the world meeting refugees and delivering supplies as Relief Society General President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And that's the thing that you find out, that people are just people. We certainly have different faith traditions, we have different foods, we have different cultures, but really our basic desires are all the same. We want our families to be healthy and happy and secure and be able to progress.
The Afghan refugees have been vetted before arriving in the United States and at military bases here. Then they follow the path to citizenship by first filing an asylum application. Alyssa Williams is the attorney leading the legal team for both CCS and IRC.
They actually had paperwork or petitions in process for the special immigrant visa for individuals who had worked with the U.S. government or on a U.S. government-funded project, and that work had put them in danger already. And they're also having to explain why they are afraid to go back to Afghanistan now that the Taliban's under control.
Utahns have opened their hearts and homes, given everything necessary and then some to welcome people who need us.
I just feel so fortunate to represent the greatest people in the world.
The Afghan refugees are watched over by volunteers who help them make Utah home. Their story next. Key to resettling refugees are the volunteers, and it begins with corporations. I'm standing in a warehouse donated for a year by Price Real Estate, and you can hear in the other room employees of another company. Employees of Overstock donated their time to assemble dining room furniture for the Afghan refugees.
We were really heartbroken last summer when we saw the footage of so many fleeing their homes and really having no place to go.
Overstock connected with the IRC and CCS to learn what needed to be done. The employees had an assembly line of unpacking, putting together the frames, and then stacking them for loading.
We're providing dining room sets because that's a lot of where home happens, right? That's where a lot of the house turns into the home and people are able to, meet around the dinner table. And we really just want to make sure everyone knows that they have a seat at our table here in Utah.
The next part is getting that furniture into moving vans. We spent the day with volunteers from the International Rescue Committee.
Thank you.
First, the furniture goes into the trucks. And then when they arrive at the apartment complex, the move is reversed.
This is going in there. We've been doing about 3 moves a day for the past few weeks.
Grace Cole of the IRC leads these teams, but she credits the volunteers.
They're really the ones that are helping us do every move, and we really couldn't do it without them.
After the volunteers unload and deliver the boxes, they stay and put some pieces of furniture together for the new arrivals. They remember that scene at the Kabul airport.
I can't believe that the same people that I was seeing on TV are the same people we're helping here. It's really incredible. It's emotional.
As they furnish these apartments, she says, they make a connection, despite the language barrier.
One of the first families we moved in, they wanted to pray with us. They're very spiritual people, and it was awesome to connect on that level.
Carlissa Larsen volunteers with Lifting Hands International, a group that focuses on resettling refugees throughout the world.
These are people who they've worked right alongside of our military. You got it? Mm-hmm.
Her 10-year-old daughter, Abby, wanted to be there.
Everyone is always trying to help me, so I decided to help other people too.
It's been great to watch them be able to make that transition chaos and horror to peace.
Helping them find that peace is what Joan Erickson does. She is one of the Catholic Community Services volunteers working long-term with an Afghan refugee family.
Our assignment is to help the family any way we can get acclimated into the community. I watched it on TV unfold and I couldn't sit on the couch. I just felt like I had to do something. I would have taken in 50 people and housed them in my home if I had the room, but we don't have the room, so this was the next best thing.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Joan and Shelby Dunn are part of a 4-member team helping the family learn how to live here. And they say there is so much support.
The Salt Lake area is really unique in the fact that we have the volunteers, we've got the donations, we've got the organizations that help put this together, because it's not something that we could manageably do on our own. It's a full-time job.
The first time they took their family to an Afghan restaurant, the owner greeted them warmly.
I'll never forget, he just threw his arms around the dad and he said, welcome to America, you're so lucky you made it out. And the dad was they just hugged and hugged and hugged.
Other members of this village who help the Afghan refugees are people of different faiths coming together. That part of the story is next.
What pure religion is, and it is giving back to those that are homeless, those who are fatherless, the widows, those who are suffering, and that's what this allows us to do.
Well, as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we believe that all men and women are brothers and sisters. Of course, we want to reach out and help them. We want to live those 2 great commandments, which is love God and love your neighbor.
Sister Jean Bingham has done that both globally and personally. She shared with me the opportunity she had some years ago to teach English to an Afghan family, mother, father, and daughter.
And to get them to the point where they could become citizens of the United States was such a thrill for them. And it was a thrill for me to be able to have an impact. They're still friends of mine. We still see each other and still visit at least every month.
Part of the Afghan refugee assimilation is finding somewhere that has everything they need.
And so you have the big bins here, and then the bins get moved to this area where people are focused on dividing up the donations.
The church provides clothing, furniture, and household supplies for the refugees. And Elissa McConkie says there are 2 other important components here at Deseret Industries: employment and learning the language.
We also teach English classes on site, and so during the workday, refugees have an opportunity to attend English classes, get additional training.
She believes when they succeed, we all succeed.
When we become members of the church, we take on a commitment to serve others, to bear one another's burdens.
Light One Candle was a holiday gift drive in December of 2021, and Salt Lake's Jewish community participated. They donated gifts and money and assisted Afghan refugees as they moved into new homes.
I think that helping refugees is essential as Jews. It's our story.
Helping the Afghan refugees, Rabbi Spector says, is also an opportunity to open minds and hearts and become friends.
As Jews here in Utah, we have a wonderful relationship with the Muslim community. We feel a duty as Jews to help out refugees from these countries as well, to give an exposure to Jewish people and who we are, and to build bridges and to make a more peaceful and holier world.
New friends and a place to shop that feels familiar. The Halal Market is one of the first places Afghans who have lived in Utah take the refugees.
We tell them, hey, we are here already, like, don't feel alone, so you have some Afghans here and we can help you.
Pohan says his group is very grateful to people of all faiths in Utah who have reached out to help the Afghan refugees.
I saw different people from different religion. They were bringing like foods, like hot foods, and They try to buy clothes and like whatever the basic, the first needs are for this family.
There is nothing more welcoming than the smells of home, and that is what Wali, Arshad, Salem does at his Salt Lake restaurant's Afghan kitchen.
I hope that I could give them, a little bit of that hospitality that they had in Afghanistan.
He understands what they are going through.
It is too hard. I don't have words to describe that. I went through culture shocks, when I moved to Utah.
What also helps, he says, is being able to worship as they wish here.
I think religion has been very important for Afghans, and Utah has been very kind and supportive in that regard.
And he tells them it is possible to start a new life. Utah can become home.
It worked for me, and it will definitely work for them too. I tell them that America is the land of opportunities. They can become whatever they want to. Sky's the limit.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. None of you truly believes until he wishes for his brother what he wishes for himself. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. It is called the Golden Rule. All people of faith promise to live by it. As Utahns have welcomed refugees from Afghanistan, this is what they have done, literally providing a new home and everything that goes with it, and proving that there is someone at the other end.